Welcome, citizen, to another Starcraft Nation broadcast. I'm your host, Venerati, and in today's cast, I'm finally going to be getting to the NaW Diamond Series matchups in between Cowsrule, spawning, of course, as the Green Zerg player, and JiYan, spawning as the Protoss player. Now, this is a best-of-5 series with the finals in NaW, or North American Weekly, if you're not familiar with the acronym. That's when I say NaW, that's what I'm talking about. The last bracket is best of 5. And of course, if you saw that little information right there, I was live streaming this. However, I wasn't sure whether my computer could handle saving the files and live streaming it, but now that I do know that, I won't have to double cast, which is going to be super awesome. Because, I mean, these games are pretty good, but casting the same thing over and over again, kind of gets a little tedious. But focus on what's going on right here. We do have I think both these guys are like 1900 diamond level players, so not the tip top, but these guys are good, better than myself. So not going to be a shabby matchup either way. What we've got going on right now, though, is we have a early forge coming down for JiYan, and I'm not sure if he's going to proxy pylon or if he's going to be, well, actually I do know, but I don't want to spoil it. We could see proxy pylons going down. We could see a fast expand coming down for him if you throw a pylon down, a forge, a gateway. You try to create a little wall off in between your nexus right here. But that is not actually going to be the case. What we do have going on is we have 2 pylons going down on the front ramp, and those drones thinking about trying to chew on that, but of course it really wouldn't have been that effective. It would have cost Cowsrule quite a bit of minerals because those guys do actually, 3 drones would rail in a pretty fair amount of income. And anyway, the cannon would have come in before this pylon would have gone down to the DPS of those drones. So this photon cannon will be coming in here, and this will be containing Cowsrule. And now you generally see two cannons, 2 pylons, but one cannon will be more than apt. Is the Zerglings will be forced to come down in here engaging. It doesn't quite look like that's actually blocked off, but I do believe it is. And basically, if you get Zerglings down here, they're going to try to DPS the pylons, but of course the cannon is going to be sitting there chewing on those Zerglings the entire time. Now, what we do have is we still have a... Do we actually have one? Yes. We had a drone that made it out before the contain actually went down. So right now, JiYan isn't aware that Cowsrule is actually going to be able to expand. So Cowsrule going to be able to do basically what he had meant to do to begin with, as I do believe we were going to see an expansion from him anyway. Preferably, obviously, in the natural right there, but making it on the fly, making it happen over here in this kind of little cave depression area, but depressed. Either way, Cowsrule right now being contained ever so slightly. His main base, of course, just being the only part that is contained. JiYan will be coming out here with a Zealot, will be blocking it off here, making it hold position, so he will be prepared for any sort of sneak attacks that come by there. So that was a good move anyway, because if Cowsrule could have gotten off a few Zerglings here and he left himself completely exposed on the front door, that could have been really, really devastating for JiYan, because, I mean, getting caught with your pants down, especially if you don't have anything on the field, you're really cruising for a bruising right there. So right now we do have the Cybernetics Core finishing up here. We still only have 1 gateway down for JiYan. Not really worried about putting up early pressure. In fact, he's going to be teching right now. He is going to be getting the Warp Gate technology. He is going to be getting the ground weapons level 1, and he's going to be finishing up with a 2nd Zealot. So right now we do have roaches on the ramp of Cowsrule. Of course, we do have a Spine Crawler burrowing in here, and this Spine Crawler is going to have range on these pylons, whereas this cannon is not going to have range on the Spine Crawler. So right now, basically, we're going to see the end of the containment of Cowsrule. In fact, right now we could see Zergling run-bys if we wanted to, but of course, Cowsrule wanting to do it right will be going ahead, finishing up this pylon right here. This roach coming in here, trying to get a few pot shots off, but it's not going to happen because this photon cannon will be in range on that one. But it's just going to be a short amount of time, and this pylon will be finished up here. And of course, this photon cannon will be powered down and basically useless. So right here, JiYan is actually aware of Cowsrule's base. Let's go ahead and take a look at his... yes, he is aware of the base right there. And he knows that his basically that his containment has actually failed right there, and well, it failed. It's been defeated. It didn't really. It wasn't an aggressive contain. It just tried to throw Cowsrule off his game. But as you saw, Cowsrule, of course, right here with this expansion that he has, not really that off footing. So JiYan with that probe sitting in there, hiding for its life, trying not to be sniped. But oh, yes, the roaches are aware of it, and it does look like it's doomed and it has come. And yes, it does actually. It is dispatched right there. So now that JiYan knows that Cowsrule is out and about in the map, we do actually see a scouting Zergling coming up there. We do see Lair Tech just now finishing up, and I believe because JiYan was able to see that there are roaches on the field for Cowsrule, we are going to see an Immortal coming out, and this Immortal is going to play a huge role in the fact of defeating these roaches, because these roaches are armored and they have a slow attack, and that's why Immortals make such a great counter against these roaches, because the Hardened Shield really is super effective against slow, powerful attacks. They're effective against like DTs and things like that, you know, where you have the full second duration. Actually, yeah, this one is or I'm sorry, not second, but like the full duration. This one has, of course, a weapon speed of 2. So those roaches, you can see how slow their attacks are. That Hardened Shield will be super, super effective against that. But of course, there are going to be Zerglings in the mix, and hey, that's why there's Zealots here. But if the Zerglings get a hold of these Immortals, of course, the Immortals are going to fall quite quickly due to the fact that the Zerglings have quite rapid attacks, as well as their attacks aren't necessarily high damage, just because they're numerous. And on the flip side, of course, of that Hardened Shield, it's really not going to be effective at all, because all the attacks are going to be underneath 10 damage anyway. So, you know, you do what you can. But that's the whole deal with the unit composition here. And it does actually look like JiYan will be pushing up on the expansion of Cowsrule. Of course, Cowsrule has evacuated it. These eggs are going to be prematurely aborted, I guess, due to the fact that this hatchery will be going down here. We don't have any forces from Cowsrule coming in here to do anything. We do have Broodlings, of course, nipping at the heels of this one Zealot. Actually, several of these Zealots. But all the Broodlings, of course, on a timer, will be dying. We do have 3 Spine Crawlers rooting in on the natural of Cowsrule. So Cowsrule really not going to be losing that much in the way of economic potential, due to the fact that this hatchery actually just spawned up. So there was only a loss of about 3 right there, or 300. Cowsrule, of course, going to have adequate static defenses here, as this is going to be very, very brutal for JiYan to overcome right now. Of course, we do have these Immortals. The Immortals will help him defeating those Spine Crawlers, but because there are roaches and there are Hydralisks mixed in here, it's going to be difficult for him to break this kind of static defense right now. Of course, he can circumvent it, but it looks like Cowsrule is thinking about that, and he's going to be throwing 3 more Spine Crawlers down. So Cowsrule really digging in here, going to be gritting his teeth, not wanting to lose this one like he did the last time. Of course, we do see sniping of that creep tumor right there, because there is an observer moving with JiYan's forces. Now, this is really going to be crucial for JiYan, because this is going to allow him to keep basically the spread of the creep down to a minimum. It's going to be him making sure that Cowsrule doesn't have that overall battlefield awareness that is so crucial and so pivotal for any Zerg player. If you don't do it, you're really letting yourself down, because when you spread it out there, if you see a lot of the pro players, Mad Frog and all those different guys, Idra, you see the expansion of that creep, and it is just amazing, because all those little guys are eyeballs. And I know that there's a lot of things going on, and sometimes that's not really considered the most important thing that's going on, but if you neglect it completely, it can really kind of come back to bite you in the rear, because they don't, Zerg don't have scans, they don't have observers, they have overlords and overseers, basically. Those are the main kind of floating around, hey, what you doing over here? And of course, we do have the Zerglings who can post up here, and they're only 25 minerals, so Zerglings make good scouts. They make them, because if you lose them, you don't have to keep track of them. If you lose them, it's not such a big deal. It's 25 minerals, who cares, right? So either way, JiYan, of course, will be seeing this hatchery going down here, so we will actually have him being able to pressure this early on, because there are no static defenses over here. So this definitely will be the target, I feel, that if there is anything going down, because Cowsrule, of course, has completely blocked off both of these avenues of attack. So right now, this ramp is going to be the main entrance to Cowsrule's bases right now. So what we have coming out of JiYan right now, we do have Colossus coming, and we do have Thermal Lance finishing up here. Now, I know most of y'all who are watching this weren't in the actual, weren't watching the live stream of the Diamond series, but so many Protoss players in the series did not get the Thermal Lance upgrade for these Colossus. And I was beating my head on a table because it was absolutely insane, because that upgrade is so pivotal. The range really makes a difference. It makes those Colossus that much harder to snipe, because right now, with the range of 9, well, I'm sorry, right now they do have the range of 9, allowing them to stay farther back, allowing these ground units to stay in front and soak up that damage. And if someone tries to snipe your Colossus, it's going to be that much harder for them to get there, and it's going to take them that much longer to get to your Colossus, allowing your ground forces to DPS them down, and they're going to take significant losses if they try to snipe the Colossus. So, with the ground forces, of course, that you see Marauders stimming and trying to run up there, that'd be very difficult for Marauders to get to these Colossus. It's going to be that 2 range is going to make a big difference overall. But right now, JiYan is going to be moving up here. It does look like he's going to be pressuring this base once again. Cowsrule already lost his base once. We'll be seeing this coming on, and is going to evacuate the drones once again. These drones, of course, knowing the routine quite well, as this hatchery was devastated earlier on in the game. JiYan, of course, is going to be coming in there, attacking it. Looks like he's going to be backing out now. He could move up here. He could really pressure the natural, because we don't actually have the static defenses in position to combat that basically that attack. And the composition of Cowsrule's army right now really isn't going to be well suited to going up against this. Now, the Hydralisk, yes, very good against going up against gateway units. Good at going up against this Immortal, but these Colossus will really tear into those Hydralisks. The Roaches, not so great going up against this. Immortal is in the mix. I believe there's only one Immortal in there, but this one Immortal will make a lot of difference. These Colossus